And we'll roll in both cameras.
Here too, partner.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Romain. We've been steadily improving Codex to make it feel like a more capable and reliable coding collaborator. And for us, it's very important for Codex to be everywhere you work. And that's why we launched an IDE extension. You can now have Codex right in your code editor, whether it's like VS Code, Cursor, Windsurf, or many others. And with me today, I have Gabriel, engineering lead on the extension, to give us a quick tour.
We on the team have been working really hard to bring lots of new things to Codex, and I can't wait to show you.
Amazing, let's dive in.
So I'm working on this OpenAI FM project, and I noticed that it's using service workers. There's this interesting return clause. I'm going to go over to Codex and just ask it why. So what is this clause for? You'll notice that there's an auto context button. That tells Codex everything that I've recently done in my IDE.
So what that means here is that basically you're using GPT-5 Codex, the new model we launched, but you're kind of like, I'm guessing, prompting it a little differently when you're in the IDE?
Exactly. So in this case, I've just said, what is this clause for? And it said, it short circuits the effect when the browser doesn't support service workers, which
That's awesome.
Makes sense. If it determines that something is easy or a simple chat prompt, it'll usually respond pretty quickly.
Why don't you kind of navigate the code base a little bit and let's pick something to implement.
Great. This button component happens to have a to-do to add a hover state.
Yep.
And if you have Codex installed, it will give you an opportunity to implement any to-do comments with Codex. So if I click it, it's going to kick off a local conversation and give Codex all the context it needs to fix this.
That's awesome. So anyone that has like any to-dos or any task in their backlog can just like start sending them over to Codex.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you show us a little bit like what's happening behind the scenes now?
So behind the scenes, when you ask Codex to do something, it starts exploring your code base and running commands, and you can see its progression as it's going along. First, it's reading code, and then when it decides to run commands, it runs in a safe sandbox that ensures that it's not going to modify files outside of your project, and if the model ever needs to do something that it thinks it can't run successfully in the sandbox, it can ask you for permission. It explored the code base, it updated the button, and then it made a bunch of changes at the end. You can then review the changes right in your IDE to see all of the changes it made in one place.
Yep.
But I think we should just go see if it worked.
Let's do it. Moment of truth.
Hop over to the browser, and I'm going to hover over these buttons. And as you can see, there's a nice subtle hover state where the shadow expands, the card shifts up a little bit. I was looking around the site, and I noticed that there's a few other elements that also don't have a hover state. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this conversation we just had, and I'm going to move it from local into the cloud. And this is going to use Codex in the cloud to continue this task without taking over my computer.
I think it's like completely changing the